In the times of the Norse, people knew who they were, and in the modern world, many people don't. Saxon, Norse, Mercian, Dane. In the Viking age, identity mattered. Your word mattered. Your honour mattered. Your reputation mattered. Your oath and your bonds mattered. Today, many people spend their lives trying to become versions of themselves that keeps everyone else comfortable. In the times of the Norse and the Anglo-Saxons, identity was deeply important, not in the modern sense of building an online persona for strangers on social media, but in a much more human and grounded way. People were connected to their family, their village, their clan, their region, their language, their customs, their reputation, and the stories people told about them after they had gone. A Norseman from Scandinavia saw the world differently from an Anglo-Saxon in Mercia. Different beliefs, different traditions, different laws, different gods, different ways of speaking, different ways of understanding life. And despite all of the conflict and brutality of the medieval world, many people back then probably had something modern societies increasingly struggle with, a strong sense of identity and belonging. Now, obviously, I'm not romanticising the Viking age. Life could be harsh, violent, cold, unforgiving, but psychologically, people often knew where they stood. Today, many people feel fragmented. One version of themselves at work, another online, another with friends, another hidden away when they're alone, constantly editing themselves depending on who is watching. Psychologists call this authenticity, the ability to live in alignment with your real values, beliefs and emotions. And research has repeatedly shown that authenticity is strongly connected to the well-being, meaning, confidence and lower anxiety. But authenticity is difficult because human beings are tribal creatures. Deep in our nervous system is an ancient fear. If the tribe rejects me, I won't survive. And thousands of years ago, that fear made perfect sense. In the medieval world, if your community cast you out, survival became much harder. You needed people, you needed alliances, you needed protection. And that ancient fear still exists inside us today. That's why rejection hurts. That's why criticism hurts. That's why so many people spend an enormous amount of their energy trying to fit in. But there's also a danger in shaping yourself entirely around approval, because eventually you stop knowing which version of yourself is actually real. I honestly think one of the most biggest mental health struggles in the modern world is performance. Performance online, performance socially, performance politically, performance professionally. Everyone's terrified of saying the wrong thing, terrified of rejection, terrified of not fitting into the modern tribe. And the irony is the more people perform, the more disconnected many become from themselves. Carl Jung spoke about individuation, the process of becoming your true self rather than simply the mask society wants you to wear. And modern psychology increasingly supports this idea. Studies have shown that when people feel connected to their true self, life tends to feel more meaningful, emotionally stable, psychologically coherent, because deep down human beings want congruence. We want our outer lives to resemble our inner lives. And when those things drift too far apart, people often become anxious, exhausted, depressed, or emotionally lost. I've done it myself over the years, trying to fit into different versions of myself depending on what other people expected, trying to smooth off rough edges, trying to become more acceptable, more understandable, more socially comfortable. But eventually you realise something important. No matter who you are, someone won't like you anyway. You can be kind, thoughtful, creative, and genuine, and there will still be people who misunderstand you and dislike your perspective. That's part of being human, and strangely enough, when you're finally accepted that, life becomes lighter. You stop needing universal approval. You realise disagreement is survivable, rejection is survivable, awkwardness is survivable. And perhaps this is where the Norse and Anglo-Saxon world still has something to teach us. In the medieval world, reputation mattered deeply. Not everybody had to like you, but your word mattered, your loyalty mattered, your courage mattered, your conduct mattered. In Old Norse and Old English culture, there was often a strong sense that a person should stand firmly in who they were, not arrogant, not cruel, not incapable of growth, but grounded like a shield, hold firmly in the storm rather than being blown in every direction by the wind. Because healthy human connection should not require complete self-erasure. The people who truly connect with you are usually connecting with the real you, not the carefully polished performance designed to avoid rejection. So in this times of the Norse, be yourself, and if people don't like you, well, perhaps gently hand them the shield and the langsacks. If this video meant something to you, like, subscribe and share it with somebody who needs reminding that they don't have to become somebody else to belong. Now, the sources for this video: K. Klausman, The Importance of Awareness, Acceptance and Alignment; Schlegel, R.J., True Self-Concept, Accessibility and Meaning in Life, research showing connection to the true self increases meaning and psychologically coherence; A. Sutton, Meta-Analysis of Authenticity, Well-Being and Engagement, study linking authenticity with self-esteem, well-being and reduced anxiety; Neil Price, Children of the Ash and Ohm, modern academic work on the Viking Age society, honour, culture and identity; Mark Morris, The Anglo-Saxons Overview of Anglo-Saxon Society, Regional Identity and Culture; and finally H.R. Ellis Davison, The Viking Road to Byzantium, Historical Insight into the Norse Worldview, Values and Social Identity. And if you have enjoyed this video, it's slightly different, but I wanted to connect it back to the medieval times, then I do urge you to subscribe to the channel. It is free to subscribe on this channel, and we have a lot of videos for you to watch. And until we meet again, it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye from Braggy.